John, well, Representative Meyer, on behalf of the Iowa Developmental Disability Council, we just wanted to thank you for all the work you've done with the Iowa Department of Transportation on the Changing Bills Act, and we see it as a big step forward, allowing people with disabilities to travel and be more available to their community, but also to have that opportunity for other people visiting Iowa, people with disabilities. And so really excited about the work and the efforts around that. And just kind of curious, how did you first hear about the issue?
So I first heard about it from a gal who is in the Fort Dodge area, Amanda Milham. She has a daughter, for whatever reason, wasn't going to be potty trained, and she was getting older. And I think when Amanda first approached me, her little girl was 6 years old, and she said, you know, she's getting to the point where it's becoming a privacy and a dignity issue. We can't just throw her on the grass anymore in the back of the car when there are other people around. And she told me about this changing table that was available. So when she explained all of that to me, I have to admit, I'd never heard of anything like that before. Of course you kind of know these issues are out there, but if you don't deal with them on a daily basis, you don't think about that kind of stuff. So the issue, I mean, it really was poignant when she showed me her daughter on the floor of a Casey's bathroom on a towel, and that's how she was changing her. And I was like, oh, I would never want to do that, and it just seemed like common sense. So that's how we originally got hooked up with the changing table idea in the legislature.
Well, we always think that's such an important thing, that personal story that kind of connects people to their legislator to say this is something that's affecting you directly.
Yes.
Certainly. And so kind of interesting, when she approached you, what do you see your role is when someone says, hey, I have this concern, what's your role and what's their role?
My role is to listen, and be open to ideas. So she came to me with a very specific problem, and she came to me with a solution. What she envisioned the solution to be, that these should go in every business that does maybe 5,000 or more people a day. Now, my party does not like to put regulations on private business, and I knew that I would never, we're always talking about cutting regulations, but this was such an important problem. I worked with our staff and said, what can we do that as a state will pay for it? Because this is important, but without burdening private business, because they are burdened by a lot of things. So that's when we came up with the idea of putting them in a rest stop, because the state will pay for it, the state will take care of it. And really we made it a pilot project, because we thought that once there was an awareness out there, more good corporate citizens like the truck stops, Love's and Casey's on the highway, any place where there's a family bathroom, they might think about putting one in, because Target in our town does that. For instance, there was a gal in our town whose son needed a motorized cart to get around the store, and she couldn't shop without that. So she went to Target, and they did that. So Amanda came to the legislature, and we worked on the issue together, and got something done. Now, I will tell you, there's no law. We wrote the law twice. We introduced it both sessions, and again, it passed through the House 100% unanimous. So it was, everyone knows that this is an issue now, including people who didn't know it before. But since we introduced it last year, the DOT took it upon themselves to put them in a new rest stop that they were building without legislation needed. So that's the best of both worlds. It's happening, and we don't have to pass a law and maybe find other people.
Well, I think that's such a great part of the story, because it's kind of becoming, from being unaware to aware, and then bringing the issue forward and having people kind of rally around it. And then it did start to make its way through the House, and I know there's some advocacy issues, but does that happen very often where there's a lot of attention brought to an issue, maybe it doesn't pass, but this is, like you said, the story is such a great story because it did end in a lot of successes, and I think Amanda has expressed to you and to me that she still feels really happy about where it is, Does that happen very often?
I Honestly, I'm in my third year, and I can't give you another specific example, but I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
Well, I think that's we work with a lot of self-advocates, and we always say, it's just as you put it really well, is, bring your bring your issue forward and have some ideas and solutions, and then start to work towards that progress, and good things can happen from that. So, yeah, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.